Hello, welcome to my channel, 13 Moons Oracle. Coming in here today to talk to you about this full moon and all the energies. Happy Easter, whether you celebrate it with Jesus, my alma mater, or you celebrate it with Ishtar. She came in through the reading. So I pull cards ahead of these kinds of cycles to kind of guide me through any of these energetic gateways. And I wanted to share the reading that I've been working with for the past week through this Easter portal and gateway, through this pink full moon that we have just come through. We are 2 days from it, so we still have one more full potency day of energy. And especially with all the historical events that have happened on these times over different eras and different eons, this is a highly high portal of manifestation, and the portions of manifestation that we're contributing to right now is through the full moon, through the release. Now there's a different type of release going on with this fire horse energy. It's clearing up and cleaning up. So those of you that are connected, that have found my channel, welcome. If you're new here, I am Jade Crystal. I am a prophetess. I am an oracular high priestess. I am a 8th generational psychic, and I have been doing energy work for a very, very long time and many lives. And I like to connect to the realms, the ethers, and talk to you about different aspects of soul activation and soul awareness that will help get you through whatever you're going through right now. There's collective energies going on. The collective is really heavy. There are different growth points that everyone's on. So this is a collective reading. So take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. Always take it through your own intuitive filters and pray on it. And there's a ton of channels out there that do kind of ego readings and tell you exactly what's going on in your life that way. That's not what we're going to focus on today. Here we're focusing on the energetics and the spiritual helpers and guides and connections that are there to serve us as we go through these initiations, these integrations, because this is a high time of downloading. So for those of you that have found this, you are guided here by your soul, my soul called to your soul, because we are integrating shadow aspects. We are the ones who have been doing the work. Your starseeds that have front loaded your karma, but you've cleaned that up. You have maybe spent decades cleaning up your karma in this way, and you have already done so much of the front work of evolutionary process, and you are leading the way into this 5D evolution that we have going on. And so you are in the void right now, and there's a lot of ascension symptoms that I want to talk about today that might be going on for you. And so there's a book that came up in before when I was doing my meditations on this reading that you might want to get. It is this one, Ascension Symptoms Manual, Sedentare. And so right now we have been going through massive amounts of download as we continue to anchor in the 112 strand DNA, right? And so those are of you that are generational curse breakers. You will be, alchemizing different generational patterns and programs. There might be patterns with money, for instance. There's patterns with relationships, the way you relate to men, the way you relate to women. There'll be all kinds of patterns that you are alchemizing through your living embodied experience, and these can give you different symptoms. Now, because it's a collective reading, there's going to be different people tuning in at different points. So some of you might have just started your ascension journey and might have just started your ascension awakening, and you might be going through some of those physical symptoms, dry eyes. You might find that you're having hair issues or kind of temple headaches that you haven't had before, and that you obviously know there's no underlying health condition. I'm not a doctor, I'm not advising you, I'm just kind of letting you know about some of the ascension symptoms that could happen as you start to awaken and your soul and your DNA start to shift in structure. Now, this overculture has really tampered with our DNA through the food, through the water, through the chemicals, through all kinds of different things, and we are reclaiming that. There is an energetic process going on in our bodies with every full moon. So the new moon is bringing a new coding, and the full moon is pulling out programmings that are blocks to love, or anything that are disruption patterns within your DNA structures. Anything that's blocking your crystalline DNA, your wholeness, your capacity to have a fulfilling and happy life, or your capacity to feel love, or even the capacity within your bloodlines of stagnant programs and stagnant experiences, chronic illnesses, repetitive patterns, anything that is not of pure unconditional love, light, and source energy. Okay, so you might also be going through head tingles. You might be like, your sinuses might be really congested right now. You can even get a sore scalp. And a lot of this can be tempered through meditation, through movement. So just make sure you're getting enough movement. I know that this last cycle has been really exhausting for people as well. So there needs to be a balance of rest. Don't overwork yourself and overexert yourself. And some things that you'll start to notice as you join the ascension pattern is that things that used to resonate to you aren't going to feel the same. They are going to just feel different. Things that used to satiate you, you're just going to have different interests, and you're going to look for more meaning in life and more meaning in your experience. Now, those of you that are further along the path and have already looked into your divine timing and your divine purpose and your divine alignment, you guys are going to have more, some of these symptoms, but they're going to be more attunement symptoms as opposed to introduction symptoms. So introduction symptoms can be mistaken for like, what's wrong with me? Why am I so tired? Why am I going through some of these physical conditions? Like, you go to a doctor, there's no reason for it. Those are ascension symptoms, right? And those are the call to start your spiritual path and journey if you haven't. Now, those of you that are already on it, it's going to call for you to meet it in new ways, or to even change out your whole experience. I know as people start to move into the 5D, the people that I work with and coach, they don't need as much practical application of, say, meditation. They don't need as much practical application of spirituality, because it becomes an embodied way of living. It becomes embodied in everything that you're doing. The meditation becomes the way you live, and the sacredness flows through all of that. Your dreams become really vivid, but depending on the varying levels. So when it's an introductory level, your dreams are going to be really vivid and be really cleansing, purification, and healing. Whereas now your dreams may actually be downloads and telling you things and giving you guidance on your day-to-day activities, lives, and through your challenges. Okay, your sleeping patterns might be up and down. I know even a couple of years ago when I shifted again and acquired back a lot of my soul capacities and gifts and a lot more clairvoyant activities, I became a morning person after years and years of being a night owl. So you might notice some of your sleep patterns disrupted. Now, those of you that are further along the awakening journey, you might not feel as many of the physical symptoms, and you might be going into the emotional symptoms. So there might be a lot of anger and frustration, balanced out with bliss. So there might be high times of like really blissful, euphoric feelings, and you're like, I want to stay here all the time. And then all of a sudden it's like a dip and a drop in your in anger and frustration. You might have crying waves. You might kind of feel disconnected, like I kind of talked about a little bit earlier, about how like people, places, things that once served you just aren't calling to anymore. They aren't fulfilling you in the same way. Or even spiritual practices. You might have spiritual practices that just aren't feeling as connected and connective because you're so used to being connected. Some of those things are become so normal to you, they don't feel as potent, although they still are, and you are actually even more connected. And then this connection can be coming from like the split, right? Because those of you that are in that second stage, you're not going to be connected to those 3D healing modalities. Like you're going to be needing 5D, and that's where the Ascended Masters come in, and that's when it's really good to connect with them. So for the grids that I've been working with this Easter cycle has been Ishtara, and I actually just found out that Ishtara, this Easter, was the time when she went and did her descent into the underground, and she went through 7 different temples, which obviously reflects on your chakras and the journeys between your chakras, and laid down or met with different shadow aspects and different power points within herself until she was completely naked and vulnerable and disappeared for 3 days. And there's that Holy Trinity. So that was really interesting. And then Hecate's here, of course, because there's just a lot of shadow work going on. And Merlin, I would say, as well. Merlin came from Avalon. That was when the Golden Age was still there, but it was starting to move into the Dark Ages. And this is when religions really went to war with paganism, priestesses, and different secret societies. And so Hecate would have also represented that in ancient Greece. So these are some of the grids and anchors that I had been working with throughout this Easter long weekend. And it's very, very influential on the collective, because Kali also guides you through. She protects you psychically, and she guides you through your challenges. Hecate has the keys. She has the keys and the map to guide you through the crossroads of your life. So some of you are going to find yourself at that pinnacle of really embracing who you are and stepping forward into a new story. Or are you going to stay in the old story and stay stuck? I can feel a lot of you are really in that kind of anger and frustration that I talked about, of like, you can see the stories that have been holding you back for all this time, and you're trying to honor that those things happen to you in your life, but then you're also honoring that you are not, your identity is not based on the things that happen to you. Your identity is your divine identity, and you're working with your angels and your guides to actually bring that forth and pull forward and to come out of those patterns, because you can really see with clear cognitive vision that you are a divine being. You are the warmth and the love, and every piece of work that you've put into yourself, you are not these wounds and these traumas that people may have put onto you. You are not what's happened to you. Okay, so Gabor Mate might be really important for you to just kind of clear up some of these patterns and really get yourself in the new story. But the people that I'm talking to, you're really connecting to your future self. You're really pulling yourself forward, because you've just put your foot down. You've said enough. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. I am no longer willing to tolerate living paycheck to paycheck. I am no longer willing to tolerate the financial level that my family has lived at. I am no longer willing to tolerate abuse. I am no longer willing to tolerate friendships that don't support me. You're just really putting your foot down to the universe. And that's what this cycle is about. Easter is about hope, renewal, faith. And so these are the things and the aspects that are going to pull you through. Now you can see crossroads of destiny. So your destiny codes are activated right now. Your divine timing is activated right now. And your ability to read the energy is coming through. And you're in that rebirth cycle, right? And some of you, though, that are going to find this reading, you're in the void. So it's going to feel like maybe even lonely. It might even feel like there's like a dying going on, like parts of yourself have just passed away. You might even be in grief, because this is part of the natural cycles that go on within us when we allow pieces of ourselves to fall away so that the new ones can birth. You're not going to stay here forever. You're not going to be stuck in this, but those might be some of the things you're experiencing right now. And Ishtar, Hecate, Merlin, and Kali are some of the best guides and ascended masters to work with on these things, because they have infinite amounts of wisdom to help you get through these kinds of crosses. Kali comes and gives you ultimate courage, ultimate compassion, and ultimate love, but also fierceness, of like where you can no longer lie to yourself, and you can no longer hide what is going on inside of you, or what you've been hiding behind to kind of like complacency in a way. Although I can feel your intensity to grow, we still have these comforts in ourselves. We still have these mental programs. We still have these constructs that keep us safe and keep us in what's comfortable and keep us in what's already happened. And that's what you're breaking through. And this is what Kali gives you eyes to see, that you can break through those things. And she gives you the courage and the fierceness to pull all of those away and to let go of what you've known and to embrace the new. And some of you have done this cycle so many times that you're not even scared anymore. But these are just kind of the last really deeply buried, lingering pieces that needed to arise for you to address and to move forward. Okay. Merlin comes and helps you integrate your wisdom. So Merlin is that connection point between all of, so every life you've ever had, you, especially the ones that where you studied as a priestess, or you studied as a priest, or you lived an exemplary spiritual life, and you studied to come down for these times, you would have had a extremely potent future self, right? And that future self would have became the elder you, which would have connected into that life. And now it's a past you, but you are connecting to that wisdom. Merlin is the gatekeeper between all of those timelines, taking all of the best versions of yourself, integrated into your soul and your akashics, and bringing them into this moment. And we have to ask for that. We have to allow it if we want it, because we have true will, right? Free will, true will. Truth is coming through as well. Okay, so hope and faith were the actual angels that I had pulled to work with this week, which is funny because Easter is about hope and faith, and that's the messaging that you see a lot around it. But it's about authentic reclamation. I feel like for those of you that are doing the work, this is why I didn't post a reading on the actual full moon. You're gonna know that doing the work, it sometimes like pulls you not pulls you down, but it pulls you into yourself. It pulls you into that relationship with Creator, and you turn to Creator to clean up what's going on and what's anchoring. And of course, because we are pillars of light right now, activated in our environments, we are also transmuting large points of the collective for those that are still asleep or those that are spiritually bypassing the work, right? And that's why we're planted where we are. And so some of it can be massive amounts of downloads and beauty coming in, but it can also be really, really heavy, extra heavy for us, because we're actually processing it through our physical being, which allows the alchemization of light to start to spread out. And you wake up basically your neighbors. You wake up all the people that you're around, because you're anchored into that ley line of the area that you're in, and you're spreading pure unconditional source love and light all through wherever you're planted and wherever you're seated, right? The columns of light. That might be another thing that you're coming into higher awareness of, is your highest self right now, of the most beautiful, magnificent expression of yourself, and your future self is trying to lead you forward. So whether this is your reminder right now to connect with that, to ask your future self to lead you forward, to actually just connect with Creator and say, my future self and my highest guidance is always constantly available to me and leading me forward, and everything is happening for me. That might just be your reminder, or this might just be your reflection of your intuition, like, good job for already doing that. Now, the other thing that just came up was there's just little things that are needing, well, they feel really big inside of you, but they're little things that need to be cleaned up. Is you're almost watching your thoughts in a detached way, but it all these things are coming to the surface. You're while you're out and about, you're oh my gosh, I didn't know I was actually thinking like that or speaking like that, and it's blocking my money. Oh, I didn't know that this was actually blocking my relationship. Oh, I didn't know I viewed that about men. Oh, I didn't know I viewed that about women. And so you're just really starting to become I want to say hyper vigilant of your thoughts, because to someone who doesn't do this work, that's what it's going to seem like, but it's not. It's an autopilot situation that's bringing to awareness anything that was still lingering. But after all the amount of work that you've already done, you're probably what? How is that still there? How is that still there? But it's okay. It's just the last bits of cleanup of anything you cannot take with you as you birth in your purpose this year, and you really anchor down into what you're doing. The other thing that you're doing is you're not overthinking things, and you're just acting. You're just going forward with what you feel like you need to do and how you feel like you need to live. There is a massive shift going on through the collective right now of living your life how you want to live it. It's a massive alchemization that we're all going through, because we have been so parts of it, yes, are control from our past, from the dark ages, from all kinds of things. Parts of it were survival. That was just the way that it was back then. Lessons our ancestors made, superstitions that we believed, different kings and religions ruling, and just different choices our ancestors had to make, and the ways of thinking that those invoked to get us here, right? But now we're in this era of things are available to us. We don't have to forage for things. We're not starving for days. There's so much opulence, there's so much comfort, there's so much availability to us that we're actually having a huge nervous system upgrade, because we're not used to not being in survival mode. And other parts of what has happened as well is that we have become addicted to pain and suffering. And so all of those are kind of leaving our psyche and leaving our environment. And we're really coming face to face with anything we may have just not been wanting to see, or that's been hiding from us. And it can be actually really intense. Now, if you just keep surrendering back to spirit and surrendering back to your angels and guides, it's not as intense, and they will help you with it. It's always the go-to. And some stuff you can work with a healer, but in the end, it's between you and Creator to fix that problem. Some of it, some of it is just for you and Creator to do. Some of it is just for you and Creator to find a solution, because you are actually the master of your own experience. You are the best person to be able to see within yourself, and to be able to love within yourself, and to be able to connect to your guides and your angels. Yeah, so these are the grids. These are sacred geometrical grids that will activate you and help to purify and clean you out. You can see revolution, rebirth, destiny, and energy. So energy is information and motion. So this will help to increase your clairvoyant capacities, your clairvoyant sight, helps you access your Akashic and any skills that you might need from your Akashics. If you're not an actual Akashic records keeper, you can just download skills that you need from the Akashic records, or solutions that you need. there is a sacred revolution going on the planet right now, and there's different aspects of it. There's different ways that we're all showing up, but it's all part of God's plan, and it's all going to work together. The violence needs to be purged, the pain needs to be purged, the trauma needs to be purged, and we need to stop hurting each other. That will come to a head at some point, but there's also karmic patterns playing out from, you know, eons of violence that we've just been in or perpetrated or experienced or had gotten wrapped up in, even if our ancestors were trying to live peacefully. Okay, so let's do some dragon magic. So some of the dragons that are working with us this cycle, I always go north, south, east, and west for every quadrant. So there is the black dragon from Saturn, brings you wisdom through spiritual discipline. So spiritual discipline has been a big thing. Now, if you're in that phase 2 transition where you are kind of accelerating into the nuances of your capacity, like, so say you're an empath, you already know you can feel everyone's feelings, but you're starting to set up boundaries and energetic frequency with your guides to be able to read when something is yours and when it's not, and for Creator to actually bring you a solution in that moment, so you can use your empathic capacities to actually help the collective move forward, or to help someone who has come across your path to be unstuck and to move forward, right? It's like divine transmissions in everything that you're doing. So even if you're not consciously doing healing work on them in that moment, the healing is coming through you and through everything that you're being, because that is an embodied spiritual experience. And spiritual discipline is coming back to really understanding what are your new practices, what are your new expressions of that, what are ways that light you up. In a 5D embodied experience, it is about the pleasure, and it is about the fun, and it is about bringing Creator into all of that, and actually like living that spiritual embodied experience with your kind of purified system, right? So it says concentrate, focus on the ultimate vision, congratulate yourself, you have passed the test, so you've come through victorious, you have already worked so hard to get where you are, and they want you to not give up. That's what I put in the title, is like, keep the balance but keep going, do not give up, you are almost there. Because some of you are really tired, some of you have been working really hard, and you've had these big visions for a while and they still haven't manifested fully, and you're like, well, are they coming, what is happening? Just it's a call for patience. We're literally in the waiting room right now, a lot of us, so just understand that. And then golden Christed dragon, of course, this will come through in Easter, just Christ consciousness coming through. It's a time of remembering of love, it's a time of remembering how much judgment and suspicions, superstitions can really hurt each other and hurt people. And to just remember that every single religion or every single spiritual walk of faith, we're all going up to the same mountaintop. We're all on a path that is supposed to leave love and light. If you study religions, that is the one common theme that all of them have, is the love and the peace, and to not hurt each other. And so the golden Christed dragon comes and helps you to alchemize your challenges, and it helps you to activate your 112 strand DNA is leading to your 144 strand DNA. And that's when we become back into our full crystalline alignments. And that's when they talk about things like the Garden of Eden, or they talk about Lemuria or Atlantis. This was activations that we had within our frequency that worked with nature to create the best experience for us, right? And so we're coming back into that. Some of that has been deactivated and shut off because we've been disempowered, because there's a ruling class of people that didn't want everyone having these gifts, right? But then in them not wanting everyone to have these gifts, they couldn't have them either. So society is healing from that. That's what Kali Yuga is too. If you look in Hinduism and you look up some of the predictions of Kali Yuga, it's coming out of that mental illness age. It's coming out of, just wanting wealth for ourselves and not sharing it. There's just all kinds of things that are being changed and repositioned so we can prioritize better, or resources are being put into the hands of people who will share it, and that it won't just be hoarded in such a manner. And so hierarchies are being broken down. There's just so much going on in the collective web right now. And then how this might be affecting you is that you are called to meet your challenges with faith and patience and love, and to, no matter what's going on, no matter what your current circumstances are, if they don't match the vision that's trying to birth through you yet, that you still meet those experiences with gratitude, with warmth, with love, with optimism, right? And so That's where the Christ golden dragon comes, and it also comes to protect, because as we go through these awakening points too, there's a lot of disruption patterns on the earth. There's a lot of entities and things that have been siphoning off each other. I've talked about this in many other videos, and they've been trapping souls here and using them as batteries is a basic, like, low level way to say it. And when we start to wake up and we become empowered, we're no longer trappable, and then we're freeing other souls all around us just from our embodied experience. Even if someone's triggered around you, you've woken them up. You've given them the holy spiritual fires that is going to wake them up and guide them back to their soul, whatever that looks like for them, as per their purpose, as per their karma, as per their light. And that, like, there's a spiritual war going on. They don't want that to be happening. Okay, so there's nefarious purpose, there's nefarious energies out there that need to come back to the light as well, but they are used to this buffet of energy that they've been able to feed upon, and now people are getting boundaries. Starseeds are waking up. Starseeds are waking up other people. They're teaching other people the ways. They're coming through generational patterns and breaking through generational patterns that were keeping people disempowered in low vibrations at massive levels. And there's like, look how many capita of millionaires there are on the planet right now. Okay, and even billionaires. They are waking up at such massive levels that, and we're waking each other up at such massive levels, like, we're going to get psychic attack. Okay, so you want to protect yourself. We do have protections. We do have our guides. If you found this channel, you have these guides. Hecate and Kali are some of the best to work with really dark scenarios. If you have a lot of gifts and a lot of light to bring, you're going to have been attacked since you were a child, and you're going to be attacked massive levels. So you're going to be able to see it now. If you've been working up to the second level, you're going to be able to see it. And it's going to feel a little bit overwhelming right now, because it has been disimbalanced on this planet for so long. That's why there's so many people incarnated here right now, and that's why there's so many starseeds here right now, waking up and anchoring down the love and light, so that more and more starseeds can come, so we can just flood the planet with love and light. It's kind of like the overarching plan. It's going to be different on an individual level everywhere, and you might even hear this and be like, oh my gosh, there's so much, like, war, and there's so much violence, and there's so much ugliness on the planet. Like, I don't even know how this is possible. I don't see the love and the light, but it's there. I promise you, it's there. And it's even more than when my mom was a child or my grandma was a child, and all of this was still going on, but this is the plan, and this is the end of Kali Yuga. So this is where it is going to be flooded, and we are going to have all of this Christ consciousness energy. So this is one of the best dragons to work with, because they can build light codes all around your life and clear up any energy that may be contaminated or might be being attacked. Even if an energy cannot get you, it can attack things around you, right? And so just cleaning them up. A lot of you might have already activated angel wings. You might be earth angels, so you just want to use your angel wings as well to wrap around people and to heal them. You can do this as meditations at night, in the morning, or out and about in the day. If you can energetically see the overlay on top of the physical, you can use that to your benefit. If you are a trained high priestess or priest from any large society from history, you're going to know how to do these things. They're going to be inherent inside of you, and you finding this reading, if you're not doing this already, this will either strengthen it. I'm giving you a transmission from my energy to yours, or it will actually even activate it for you, because you're getting that transmission from my soul to your soul just from even engaging in this reading. Okay. So then we have the magenta dragon. Enables you to bring forward your soul wisdom, awakens your soul memories and higher spiritual understanding, prepare for accelerated ascension. And so this is that pink energy. I love to work with a magenta dragon when I'm feeling like my whole environment and my manifestations need to be cleaned up in like a bigger way. She gives beautiful golden light codes that are packed with fuchsia loving energy, and each color has a vibration as well as the frequencies that are overlay. And because these dragons are connected right to source, they know exactly what it is that you and your environment need for healing, and so this is why we work with them and call them in. They've been waking up for the past decade now, slowly but surely, and they really amped up their awakenings in the last 5 years. So obviously they live on the etheric realms. I don't know if they'll come back in physical. Humans are still a bit too violent, to be honest, a bit too violent and a bit too mentally ill to be able to handle that. So we have the air and water dragon. It helps you connect to higher frequencies. So this is just helping you develop your intuition, to trust your intuition, to develop your psychic abilities to be even stronger, and to be open up to enlightenment. Because sometimes when we're psychically attacked, It can block your sight, or it can block a sense, and then it can make you feel like you have fallen, failed, gone into a lower vibration. It can make you crave lower vibrational foods and things like that, and then we think it's ours. So really asking our angels, again, remember that we have that free will, so asking our angels and our guides to really clarify for us what is ours, what is not, really to help us with our intuition. I would do an energetic cleanup every day. I do it day and night, and I call my power back day and night, and I teach all my clients to do that as well, because it is real out there, folks. It is pretty intense out there right now, and there's just all kinds of things going on. Like, even if people aren't meaning to do it, there's so many people waking up right now at such massive levels that they don't even know they're siphoning sometimes. They don't even know that they're taking energy from you. Okay, so some of you might call to work with Sekhmet in the Temple of Carnelians. You might be called to work with carnelian stone, and that's the other thing about these different dragons. So you might want to work with air and water. You might want to work with the color magenta, right? You might want to work with Christ consciousness energy and just start to really learn the energy signature of things. The black dragon from Saturn gives out this beautiful like golden silver frequencies when it works with you. And then you also have black obsidian, astrophyllite, mica, and mystic merlinite, if you want to work with some more crystals that will connect you to these guides, to these readings. And then so Temple of Carnelian, so there's actually a temple that Sekhmet can take you up, so you might be really connected to Egypt. If you've trained under Sekhmet, she will help you, she'll bring you into this temple, and you can actually work on forgiveness, which is one of the shadow aspect pieces going on right now. So forgiveness, there's basic levels of forgiveness we've talked about before. I'm actually going to do a live on my other channel about forgiveness soon. But forgiveness is a gift to yourself. It's saying, I'm not going to carry around the pain and the poison that you've put on me, and unfortunately now you have put that on me. It is mine to alchemize, but you aren't meant to do it alone. You surrender it to Creator, and it will give you back your innocence. It will restore so much, and it'll bring you a lightness and a freshness. And it's not saying that what happened to you or what someone did to you that was wrong is okay. We cling to unforgiveness because we think it's going to protect us, but it's actually the opposite. It's so disempowering. And when we just let it go, and say, I'm not the one who's going to bring justice to this. I'm going to release this to karma. I'm going to release this to universe. I'm going to release this to Creator. You become lighter. You become unburdened by the cellular looping of that thing. You don't carry around that energy anymore. And you actually get to open your heart again, and you get to come back into your true nature, which is love and warmth and unity and oneness. And that actually truly does protect you. You will never have that situation happen to you again when you enter forgiveness either, because it removes you surrendering into forgiveness and truly just being like, I forgive that person's soul. Maybe if you can't get there yet, you can not forgive the action and just at least forgive the being. But you getting there, it helps you to purify. Where was I going with this? Thank you, Spirit. It helps you to purify, but it also just helps you to come back to your own true nature so that you are connected to your highest divine guidance. There's no distractions, there's no disruptions. Plus, unforgiveness, it lowers your frequency. And so it makes you more susceptible to lower frequency vibrations to come in and disrupt you, and to come in and grab that energy and to actually like use it against you. And so there is no protection in unforgiveness. I know there's stuff out there that's happened to people that have found this reading that seems unforgivable. But in the end, it's like my favorite analogy about forgiveness. You're drinking poison expecting the other person to die. Like, why would you want to keep toxifying your own system with that? Just let it go. And your wisdom integrates, and you will see that type of scenario, if it was to ever be presented to you again, which it shouldn't be because that's why it's closed, it was probably karmic or something else, you will see that scenario and you will have the wisdom to know how to get out of it before it even births it again, if you even got that close to it. But usually when something is done, it's done. But we are just taught to look back at the past, to loop. It's a survival mechanism of our brain. It's going to go back and just be like, remember when this happened, just in case, like you touched something hot, you don't want to touch it again. It's like a memory thing as well. But the more that you can clean out your cells and purify your system, the better your life becomes. The better your cells become, like younger, everything becomes, you have more energy in your life. It changes everything. When you think positively, positive experiences start to accelerate to you. So law of attraction, if you're new, go look it up. There's a lot of stuff on it. Okay, so then there was 3 universal laws that I pulled of that, what would be best to align with in the universal laws of harmony and truth right now to best get us through this gateway, best use this energy of Easter and for our highest development and our highest good. So it was the universal law of desire, the universal law of gratitude, and the universal law of purpose. Okay, and now there's some numbers. So 16 might be important to someone, 24, 13, 5. And you can see these are all sacred geometry as well. These are beautiful, beautiful cards. And so anytime that you can be in gratitude, even onto the smallest thing, and going back and thanking Creator, the universe, whoever you want to talk to, for anything that you had in your life thus far, all the way down to the smallest things. Like even lately I've been like, if I get frustrated with something little, I've like, oh, thank you that I even have this to be a problem, and that this is like the easiest problem that I could have compared to something someone else might be dealing with. Like gratitude just to the smallest level, and just walking around in that grateful energy it just magnetizes people to you. It's just such a beautiful frequency to be in. It makes you content and happy and at peace. It helps you have better sleeps. And then it just calls in whatever you want and whatever you could need, of course, right? But actual true gratitude. So if you're already doing this, amp up your gratitude. You're already gonna maybe know how. And if you're just starting into gratitude, just 3 things a day, 3 specific things a day that are different, that really show how grateful you are for your life. And just doing gratitude so much that when you walk around the day, that it's like every step you're grateful for your life. Like no matter how hard your life has been, you made it here. You give thanks for the courage it took to heal and that you made it this far. Give thanks that you're here another day when maybe you didn't think you would be. Give thanks for just every single thing that you could possibly think of. And then also you give thanks through your enjoyment of life. There's so much heaviness going on right now that it's actually been harder for us to enjoy life. And I even had to track a program this week of like being able to enjoy life without certain expectations or limitations on it. And so I had to track a program of that, of like, even if I didn't say want to spend money that week because I'm budgeting, like I can still go have fun. I can still play. I can still have pleasure. There's still things that I can enjoy and be so grateful for those moments. And so maybe you just need to look for that and simplify things a little more that way. Okay. Universal law of desire. So we talked a lot at the beginning of the reading about different desires that you might have, and there's different ways desires can show up. Now, sometimes desires can become painful when we shove them down or we waited so long for them and we think that they're not coming. But remember, all you need to have is a mustard seed of faith. If that vision is inside of you, then it is meant for you. And it's a really good prayer to ask Creator, like, what am I doing to block it? What is still standing in my way of having this? What actions do I need to take, or what, maybe educational or skill gaps do I need to fill to fully manifest this vision? Show me. So maybe you just need a little more refinement in prayer, because there is that feminine side of waiting and magnetizing things in, but it needs to be balanced if you want to get the best possible outcome from your experience with the masculine of action and doing. But then you want to find balance where you're not overdoing, right? And sometimes when the energy is really heavy and you're an empath, it's easy to start to overdo because you just want to keep busy to get rid of that anxiety. But sometimes that anxiety is creativity. Sometimes it's like you need to sing, you need to draw, you need to paint, you need to go live with your message. You need to start to, need is such a strong word. You can do whatever you want. It's always an invitation and a choice, but maybe it's calling for you to actually act on the actions right now instead of overthinking things. There's so many of us that wait for clarity and wait for a sign, and sometimes the waiting is part of the way that the enemy disrupts us, and the enemy keeps us suppressed and distracted and keeps us from reaching our goals and fulfilling our purpose, right? There's things that I felt guided to act on decades ago, and I didn't have the confidence to do it, and had I done it, they would have created a whole database by now that would have been ahead of the flux and ahead of the curve, showing that I had been doing some of the things that are now mainstream for decades before they were mainstream. And had I just trusted that within myself, then it would have set this foundation for the times we're in now. It still did in a different way, but it would have set maybe more of a public foundation for that as I expand my work out to the world. Although I'm just sharing this in case someone needs to hear it, in case someone's going through that right now. I trust my divine timing. There was a reason for that to not happen for me. There was things that didn't even exist yet that I needed that are now working out to support those visions and journeys now. And in the hindsight and reflection of it, I've learned from that, and I won't be making those same mistakes, right? I had perfectionist things and overthinking programs and mental thoughts. And so some of you might be going through that as well because it's coming up. And that might be affecting your purpose. Like, what is your purpose? How can you serve it in the best way, in the way that's going to affect the most people and help the most people and serve the most people? And how can you put it out there so that your people, your collective can find you? Because there are people out there, no matter what stage you're at, no matter what healing journey you're on, no matter what you still have to work through, no matter how imperfect you still think your work is, it can be refined as you go. And there are people out there that need it. They need to hear it exactly how you're saying it, and they will connect with that. They will connect with their heart. They will connect with your experience. They will connect with your share. And some of you are being really called to pull through that. And some of that might be you have to forgive yourself for not doing it sooner. You forgive yourself for not acting. That might be part of the forgiveness as well. You might even need to forgive the universe. You might even need to forgive your past for things not working out as fast. You might be holding resentments and anger towards those kinds of things, like not happening as fast as you wanted them to. And releasing those forgiveness pieces will help to manifest it in quicker. Because I promise you, if you have a vision and a desire inside yourself, that vision and desire is wanting you as much. And I just said division. So you might feel divided in yourself right now, but that's also part of anchoring down different timelines and a paradigm shift, which is what we just went through in, where are we? It's April. So that's what we just went through in March. Okay, so the last cards that I have here are just a few of the Ascended Masters. So we have Hanuman, devoted warrior. Let God's love hold you in strength. So Hanuman is representing the devotion of your heart and the devotion that you have had to, like, some of the things that you went through are so dark and so just people wouldn't even believe that you went through them, but yet you still show up with warmth and light and love. You still have a heart of gold. I can see some of you are really strongly connected to animals, and you might be more connected to animals, and Hanuman is an animal, so that shows that. But Hanuman is the ultimate devotion. Hanuman is God's love in expression and in action and in tangible feeling and form. And so to me, though, God's love does show through animals. And so it's such a soft spot for me whenever anyone hurts animals, outside of, even for food, when they hurt them for no reason, just to feed us too. Like, that's not okay. But I do believe there's a cycle of life going on within that as well. But this is calling for you to open your heart, to allow your love to protect you, to allow Creator to come and flow through you, especially in these dark times, and to just keep having faith in Creator's plan and Creator's plan for you, and trust and unification. And just the gold in Hanuman's hands is, like, to me, it's like a heart activation. You're getting in your crystalline heart activation, which is opening up different frequencies for you to anchor different aspects of that DNA frequency activation that we spoke about earlier that is going on for the collective, right? Okay, Hathor has been really, really working with her initiates. So anyone who served as a high priestess initiate in Egypt under the Hathor lineage, you would have trained under Sekhmet, Mate, Isis, Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is connected to all of these beings as this green Tara. You would have trained under them first, and then Egypt would have been a later civilization. Hathor might have been right before even the later civilizations that we mostly know about Egypt. But Hathor is, she's an astro traveler. So she brought a lot of the volunteers down to Earth. She was the runner of the Stargate portals that were all over the planet. So you might be really called to start studying different Stargates. You might be really called to start getting back to Egyptian roots and really understanding Egyptian cycles. Like the Egyptian Book of the Dead was something that I just purchased recently, even though I had a different version. I found a different version that it opened up even more. So that might be something that you're called to do. But Hathor brings in the light activation. So she's activating your wings. She's showing you how to manifest spiritual energy down into the physical to create the wealth and the resources that you need. So if you've been struggling paycheck to paycheck or not being able to solidify work, this might also just be a call to work with Hathor to forge your path. Sometimes when we cannot find work in the 3D realm, it's because you are supposed to make the work. You're supposed to become a coach, a consultant, a healer, some form of entrepreneur that you don't have to answer so much to other people, but just make sure you do your research. Make sure you know how to run a business. Like, you still have to follow 3D rules, but you can still take those rules and then make it your own, and Hathor will really help you with that. Hathor will also help you access your different clairvoyant capacities and your specific soul gifts and frequencies. And she can do it through dream schools and different access points, so that might be something you want to activate with her. So Kuan Yin is one of the next cards that I had, which I had already tied to her. So Hathor and Kuan Yin are working together really strongly right now to bring through the activated divine feminine. So Kuan Yin talks about the unspoken, mysterious beauty and warmth of the feminine that she brings through and creates experiences, and she her love and her beauty, like, think of how your animal loves you, like that unspoken love that's just through the body language, through the being, through the heart, without using words. That's Kuan Yin. That's what she's bringing through to the planet right now, enlightened action. And Hathor is bringing through that physical embodiment of the feminine. You might feel called to beautify yourself. You might feel called to just really, she's saying, like, dress for you. Don't dress for anyone else. Dress for you. Beautify yourself for you. Bring your unique interpretation and vision of beauty to the world, and don't worry about what anyone else thinks of it. Just keep going, as long as you're not harming anybody, as long as you're not fighting with people about it. Like, just be who you are. And people are going to be people, especially people who cloister themselves or shut themselves down. They're going to be triggered by that. They're going to be triggered by your authenticity, but just forgive them, roll it off their back, understand, like, they know not what they do, right? And just keep going and keep being who you are. That unique, authentic expression is really, really, really needed in the collective right now, whether you resonate to divine feminine or divine masculine. Mahavatari Babaji, soul expansion. So some of you might be feeling called to yoga. I have the Sri Yantra over here. I don't know if you can see it fully. And then the Sri Yantra is behind Babaji. Soul expansion. So you might be called to some different higher forms of yoga, like Kriya Yoga, pranayamic breath work. But some of you don't need those things to do it. Like, that's definitely my path. So I talk about it a lot within this realm, and on my channel. And then the ones that are part of my lineage, yoga is very, very integrated into their system. But for you, you might still do sacred geometry through coding and computers. Like, there is massive amounts of people waking up, and you don't just have to have a quote unquote spiritual position. You are supposed to bring spirituality through the embodiment of whatever you're doing. So computer coding, website coding, all of that stuff, AI coding and programming, all of that stuff can bring through spiritual embodiment and sacred geometrical programming, but just connect to creator and bring it through whatever you're doing, whether that's parenting, whether that's not choosing not to have children, saving animals, whether you're building the trades. Like, we still need homes, we still need construction workers, like all of that, but it's about bringing through creator and redefining those positions instead of allowing the stereotypical lower frequency disempowerment matrix programmings to reign in those areas. But some of that is path forging, and some of that might mean that you are alone on those journeys, but you're never really alone, right? You always have these guides and the angels with you, but some of you on that level 2 that we talked about earlier, you might still be just feeling really you might be feeling really alone right now, like, because you don't have human counterparts to reflect back to you your community that as starseeds we're used to. We came from other planets that are highly evolved and advanced in love, and we don't have this violence and suffering programs going on, and so we're extremely connected to our communities. And as we start to bring down through those downloads and those programs that are going on, that's also what Hathor is bringing in. We start to crave that type of community and that love, because it's a seed within us calling for us to try to build it, right? And so just know that all of this is birthing through you right now, and to trust that it's birthing through you. And when you feel lost and confused, ask for help, ask for guidance, because that's going to mean many different things for everyone that's watching this. And it's going to look different for everyone that's watching this too. So your best way forward is to work with some of these ascended masters, your own angels and guides, and ask them for help to move you forward. Lord Shiva, transcendence. So you got soul expansion and transcendence. Rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given, dance with the universe. So again, pleasure and joy comes through. You really want to honor your connection to the inner force, the inner willpower within you. You can see like Kundalini rising all through here, the crescent moon. So the new moon's going to be important. There's that Sri Yantra again. So some of these might be really stimulating for you, or something that you want to get. You have the Sri Yantra. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 points of the triangle. So that's Shakti, feminine 4, and then Shiva is the masculine 5, divine masculine, divine feminine, and that in and of itself is a very, very healing, potent, sacred geometrical shape to work with. And so you might be manifesting in your life. You might just be manifesting up and out. So you might just be manifesting completely new circumstances in your life experience right now, and you might be able to see them, you might be able to feel them, but you can't actually they're not actually in your physical environment yet, and that's the waiting period you're in. And because things take so much more time on this realm, just be patient. They are coming. Like, you're really literally on the edge, and this is where you get the most tired. This is also where you can get the most attacked. So just do not give up. Lean into Shiva. Ask to help transcend any lower vibrational patterns. Ask to how to best anchor your soul expansion in a way that you will feel energized, satiated, and doing it in the best way that will create the best experiences for your life now as quickly as possible. Okay, so magic manifesting. So I see you've been trying to manifest resources, financial stability. Yeah, I really see that you have really cleaned up your beliefs about money and about just how you manifest in general and what you want to manifest. And I can see it's really connected to your we heart. It's disconnected from your I heart. And so it's very much about, like, you want this for yourself, but it's also about how, once you're grounded and anchored properly, what you can give to the collective and what you can give to others. So Isis is working with you to help you with your throat chakra. She's helping you find the words. She's helping you find the action. She's helping you fill the gaps. And we don't need to be completely perfect, but you want to make sure, if you're starting a business, that I don't know why this keeps going through, but you want to make sure that you know what you're doing, that you have an accountant, that you have, a lawyer if you need it, that you have it all set up properly, and that you're not missing any like legal ramifications that you might need, or just having gaps where you didn't prepare yourself enough ahead of time, and then later on, if you fail, you're like, oh, I fail, I suck at this. Like, she's trying to help you avoid any of those kinds of pitfalls. It's like, no, you just needed to be better prepared. You just missed one step. It doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. It's just things that you needed to learn. So that's coming through. Okay, and then again, follow your intuition, Odin, psychic sight. So crows might be really significant to you. Lotus flowers might be really significant to you. The scarab beetle might be a sign for you. Noric mythology might be something that you want to look into. You might want to look at some of the stories of Hanuman and the courage that Hanuman had, and some of the stories that he had, and so how way he overcame challenges is coming up. Odin's giving you the truth. So Odin is aligning you with the universal law of truth and helping you to be inspired from the world around you and from the past, and be inspired from ancestors, and even to look back at our ancestors, like, even if we don't agree with some of the decisions that they made, like, they were freaking strong. Like, the strength that they had to get here, and to get us here, and to be able to live in such a much more comfortable existence. We're still not even used to it, right? We still have some cellular trauma looping, saying that it's not okay and it's not safe. But the more that you can work through that and work on nervous system regulation, the more that you're going to be able to stay really calm, and that calmness is going to anchor you into your highest guidance and your highest wisdom, especially as you open your heart. So if your heart is closed, you really want to work on that heart opening. But anyone who's found this reading, your heart is already blasted wide open. you are going through a massive, massive higher heart activation. That's where the hope and the faith have come in to reclaim, and that's why the forgiveness piece is so important to clean it all up, and just the type of dragons that came up in this reading. And then Hanuman, he's often talks about ripping open his chest and showing that he holds the creator there above all things. That's one of his stories. It's actually a Kriya Yoga pose in my lineage as well. Yeah, so there's a massive heart activation going on that Kuan Yin is also helping you. And it's just time to let go of the past, time to forgive it. Just to let it go. It actually doesn't even matter what happened to you. Those things do not define you. Other people's actions, especially where you're victimized, you are not a victim, but you are not those things. You are not those things. Stop letting them define you. Okay. All right, well, I think that's where I will close it for today. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you got all that you needed from this. I hope that you connect with these soul pieces and start to bring creator more and more into your experience if you're not already doing that. I don't know what the season is and where you are tuning in from, so let me know in the comments, but I hope that you get outside. I hope you connect to nature to purge off some of the heaviness that's been going on in the collective, and just find your own way through it. Find what kind of things can you create to sustain and support yourself. How can you open your heart? How can you bring love, warmth, gratitude to everything that you're doing and to those around you? And for those of you that have been specifically manifesting for a long time and you can feel it's right there, do not give up. Okay? Do not give up. And know that you're never alone. You always have angels and guides. It's a really good idea to clean yourself off day and night in case any contaminants come upon you and make you think that that lower vibrational thinking is yours. You also don't want them to get a hold of your gifts. Okay? True divinity will never ask you to hurt yourself or another. It is not greed, it is not envy, it is not an ego showcase, although the ego is not the enemy, it's our operating system. So just remember those things. And if you are playing in any of those patterns right now, you might just need a really good energy clean and to get some contaminants off of you, okay? I love you. Be blessed. I'm always praying for you. I am always wishing the best for you. And if you want to book with me, all of the details are in the description of how to book with me one-on-one, and we can get more into what your personal gifts, challenges, and offerings would be together if you need that assistance. All right. Namaste.